Are not watching the stream. It's one of the two.
Mhm.
I'm hopeful for the former, but I'm realistic about the latter.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to be open to different options, but I think we smurfed it, so yeah, it's good. It's all good. However, we have another match, and pretty much the story is Phoenix Horizon. They are one of the teams that has recently joined us. They really only played one game, and they won it pretty convincingly against Glorious Gaming, so they will be looking to continue this streak, whereas Stopwatch, they want to, yet again, just climb the standings.
Yeah, they want to print themselves and their authority on this league and say, we are going to be competing at the top of the league for the entire split. We're not just a flash in the pan. I've seen some of their performances. They played pretty well against Team Twice, who sadly are no longer with us. They haven't, they're not dead or anything. It's just they're not in the league anymore. That's sort of really, really morbid. But they kind of struggled in other games, in other aspects. And even in the game where they won, weren't the most convincing across the board for me. So I'm going to be excited to see how they do against Phoenix 1, who, in fact, Kazka and Kerem stole this game from me. I was meant to watch Phoenix Horizon off stream with my boy CJ, but then it was taken from us. Rudely grabbed from me. So I'm going to get to watch this game, and I'm really excited about doing so.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the full story is that you don't need to know, but yeah, we pretty much stole it. Now you get it back, and we should be jumping into the picks and bans. Phoenix Horizon blue side, Stopwatch on the red side, and we'll see if the bans will be anything similar to last time, or maybe teams decide to go maybe for some individual focus this game.
I don't know how these teams are going to ban. I would imagine that a team like Phoenix Horizon, who have been around quite a while they haven't been playing as a team for the entirety between now and when they used to play back in the day, the players have still been playing. They know what's about in these kind of competitive environments, and they're going to be making smart bans across the board. Aatrox's first ban, very smart. It's a very strong pick, and I know Darkblur does play it a reasonable amount, has seen a lot of play on that champion and knows what to do, especially being a very, very strong top laner. You don't want to be giving a cable player like that Aatrox in the top lane. Yuumi banned away as well. That's pretty smart to prevent any kind of shenanigans with Sivir or Caitlyn or something that's going to just be able to sit back or sit forward if you want to get the massive poke off and be really safe. Xerath's a bit more of an interesting one, though.
Yeah, it is going to be taken away from Credible, and I mean, it is his most played pick in a solo queue, so I guess just looking at the player, you're like, right, we're going to ban this one away. What I do find interesting, though, about Stopwatch is that Yappy XD will be playing jungle. He is a support main. That's the thing.
Ah, well, I mean, you can play Pyke jungle, right?
Not this patch.
Can you not? Is that not allowed? Is that...
I think this patch his E got nerfed to the point where it doesn't do anything to non-champions.
Ah, okay, yeah. Well, maybe don't play Pyke jungle then, but Ivan's still available, so Jappy, don't you worry. We have got Karma, Xerath, and Lux banned. As you say, Xerath's one of those champions where I don't ban it, I don't see people play it very much. When someone locks in that champion, I am terrified, because the only people who play Xerath are people who are good at Xerath. It's the same with Swain, because these champions, they just always go off. Every game, they just go off. So getting rid of that one from one trick's always smart. Lux, very flexible between mid and support right now. Get rid of that one. Sivir, very, very strong pickup at marksman. Get rid. Karma, very strong pickup support at top. Get rid. Very, very standard ban phase, except for the target of Xerath. But again, you want to be targeting that one away. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see something pretty spicy coming out of the first few picks in this game.
Yeah, Xayah now being the hover switched back into Rakan, so we already see Phoenix Horizon expressing some interest in that lovers duo. They prioritize the heavy engage support in Rakan, and do Stopwatch decide to go for a Xayah and some sort of support that can peel for her, or do they go for anything else?
Well, I think this might be mind games coming in from the side of Phoenix Horizon. You can see them switching back and forth between Xayah and Rakan. They do go for the Rakan because I think he's the stronger individual piece. But they're trying to bait, okay, we want this Lover's bot lane, which is very strong, so you're going to have to pick Xayah. They might not even be wanting the Xayah, really. They might be wanting something else, and they're just like trying to bait it out. Doesn't look like Stopwatch have taken the bait yet. They picked Morgana, who is a very, very strong pick in either the mid or support role.
And it provides that crucial black shield, which will do well against Rakan and any other sort of engage that Phoenix Horizon might want to lock themselves in the subsequent phases of the pick and ban. And they do take away the Xayah in the end, so Stopwatch are going to pick themselves that scaling hyper carry.
Yeah, Zarya's a good pick. I always say, well, I have for the most part recently, the Rakan is stronger than Zarya on their own, but Zarya can do a lot of damage, and it's the kind of champion who the damage, a lot of it comes from the E early game, and if you're not careful in the bot lane, then you're going to be caught out and you might just get exploded from nowhere, because if you're not watching the feathers, you're going to have a bad time. If Morgana goes down support with her, the Black Shield is going to be so great against the Rakan, and now the J4 has been locked in, could be top, could be jungle, it's the Black Shield is so good against him as well. So Morgana proving to be very good at the moment, and we've only seen 2 picks coming out of Phoenix Rising. We're about to see a third locked in, and it's going to be the Kai'Sa. That's a very smart pick because it's not too reliant on getting through with abilities and can do a lot of damage very, very quickly.
And it is the engaged composition being put together by Phoenix Horizon, Rakan and Jarvan for the heavy engage, and then the Killer Instinct. That's such a big cooldown for an AD carry to be able to jump pretty much the entire fight and reach wherever it is necessary. SQ1 locked in. Looking at Yappy's profile, it is pretty much the only jungler. He has somewhat practice in the last couple of days, so at least good to see he gets to play something he should be familiar with.
It looks like Phoenix Horizon are doing the draft for Stopwatch right now, because they hover Zarya, pick Rakan. Then Stopwatch pick Zarya. They hover SQ1, but then pick Kai'Sa. They then pick SQ1. It's a very smart pick, don't get me wrong, I really like SQ1, but you gotta stop picking stuff that's being hovered by the other team, because that shows they've been considering it and they know what's about with that pick. So it might be a little bit mind games. Mind games? Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Are we allowed to say that? Is that?
I mean, English language is a very curious one where you can say pretty much anything, and barely anyone will actually bother looking up whether it's a viable phrase, so go for it.
Yeah, okay, they're getting mind games out in this draft, it would appear, but they've got themselves 3 good picks anyway, so it doesn't matter. We're into the second ban phase. We've got Aurelia and Nico taken away, both of whom are pretty scary in that top lane. Nico obviously can be flexed mid as you feel a need to, but Aurelia can as well. They're both flexible picks, but you'd imagine more top laney. Gnar is not so flexible going towards that top lane, but that kind of shows a hand a little bit of what Stopwatch want to be doing going forward, because Gnar is not a typical ban.
Yeah, that you want to try, at least it seems like they want to try and remove some of the side lane or solo lane contestants, so maybe something really focused on that 1v1 matchup could be coming through for Darkblood. We saw his Renekton actually, I believe, being played against Glorious Gaming last week, and he did pretty well on this one. It's open, and Gnar is a standard counter to Renekton.
Maybe he is trying to set up for that Renekton pick. Whether he'll go for it now is another question, because he might want to try and avoid any kind of counter picks. There are still people on the board who can deal with a Renekton in that top lane. It's going to be the Corki being locked in. A very nice pick in the mid lane. It can be flexed to marksman, but I don't imagine we'll see that with a Zarya already on the board. Does a lot of damage early, can be very good at poking down, and it does take away a lot of melee mid laners who can get really badly bullied by Corki. It'll be interesting to see what the response is coming forward from Phoenix Horizon. And I don't talk about hovers, because hovers are just there to bait you, but now I can talk about it. That's a very, very interesting pick.
Yeah, Twisted Fate in the middle lane. I don't talk about Kiana. I don't believe anyone will play it, but Twisted Fate most likely into the middle lane, into the hands of Sonder. We see the on-hit build recently be much more popular, and the roaming potential of this pick is always what you have to watch out for.
Yeah, at level 6, he can go anywhere on the map pretty much. He just needs to walk a little bit into river, and then he's on top of your head. And he's very good at laning as well. You've got to be a bit careful you don't get dove on. You're not very versatile and mobile in lane, but you do have very good 1v1s, decent wave clear. You're doing good. Kennen is a champion who is an absolute monster in the top lane. You don't want to be picking Renekton into him, because Kennen's going to bully you out and do a lot of damage. You want something that's a bit more able to get onto in the early levels. And I don't talk about hovers, but the Camille is a champion who can absolutely do that. So that's a very nice pick up there for Darkblood. Interesting to see how this one plays out. I haven't seen Camille for a little while in League of Legends after her round of nerfs a few patches ago, but still a champion who can do a lot and is very good at fighting 1v1, so she's going to need to shut down this Kennen before he becomes a team fight madman.
And looking overall at this composition, it does seem like more of a teamfight focus from Phoenix Rising with the hard engage with the Kaiser, as well as, just throwing Twisted Fate into the mix, whereas Stopwatch, they look more to split the map, potential 1-3-1 being initiated, and this is a very interesting kind of game, the one where teams aren't necessarily going for the same win conditions. So what are both of these team comps looking to do in the early game?
Well, in the early game, people like Kennen, you're going to want to try and bully Camille a little bit, but you're going to have to be safe while you do it, because Camille can take a lot of poke, and when her E is down, she's not going to be able to slingshot towards you, and her W isn't actually as long range as a lot of people believe it is, so you can dodge that one out if you're positioning well and you don't get trapped by minions. But as soon as when she's used that E, go in there, get some bullying done. When her E is up, you're going to have to be a bit careful and try to stand back a little bit. The junglers are both early game proactive picks. Your Jarvan 4 is the classic level 2, level 3. You just want to get involved. You want to start fighting the other jungler. You want to start ganking lanes, getting that flag drag combo down, knocking people up, getting kills. Because as you go forward into the game, you can either go... It'll be interesting to see whether Xcalm goes damage or tank. Because if you go damage, you can still do a lot, but then you fall off a little bit. Whereas tank, you don't do as much, but you're around for a lot longer. SQ1 obviously is going to go very tanky, is going to be very good proactively in the early game of getting those stuns. She's going to not have the best time in terms of ganking her solo lanes because there isn't a melee to help her stack up her E really quickly. But Kennen's got his own CC, Twisted Fate's got his own CC, so she can probably be able to land her Q, land her W, and get some auto attacks off in order to get kills. I expect both of them to be very active early game. SQ1 will have to be a little careful in terms of fighting because she doesn't win the fight against J4 early at all. So she's going to have to be a bit careful about that. But then moving forward to 6, 7, they're going to want to be rotting heads constantly. They're going to be all over the map. It's going to be wonderful to see. If one of these junglers doesn't gank like early, they're doing something wrong or their team is doing something wrong. Moving down to the bot lane very quickly, Zarya and Morgana, they're going to be able to clear out and push loads as much as they want. Kaiser and Rakan will have a much harder time of doing it. And I expect Rakan to be poked a lot because Zarya and Morgana are going to want to force him away. If he steps up to try and give assistance to Kaiser, force her back, you've got priority in that bot lane, or you should, but you'd have to be a little bit careful. You've got the spell shield to stop any massive engages from the Rakan early. You should be fine if you're Boba and Malakabel. From what I've seen and what I understand of these two teams, I think the bottom lane from Stopwatch is slightly better mechanically anyway. So I would recommend that they are going to win this game, or this lane even. All right. They just win. It's how it is. And very quickly on the mid lane matchup, Twisted Fate isn't played in League of Legends anymore, so I've no idea what he's going to do. Both of these mid laners want to roam at around 6 when you get package and you get ultimate, so I imagine they're just going to be trying to ebb and flow the wave around, try and get priority, because whoever gets priority gets the priority on the first roam. And that's going to be massive for both of these champions, because you want to get your other lanes going, because they could be basically a second jungler after level 6.
Well, and with the double teleports being also for the top laners, this is where things get very interesting. Last time we only saw Perun go down in the bot lane, and he did manage to secure the kills. Now imagine a 5 versus 5 in the bot lane. How fun would that be?
Oh, well,
especially for the AD carries.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be as fun for Stopwatch as it would be for Phoenix Horizon, because their team comp isn't built for team fighting particularly. They've got good team fighters in there. You've got people like Morgana, Zarya, who are really good in team fights. SQ1, obviously, very good in team fights. But Corki and Camille are going to be outclassed in team fights with Kennen. Like, Kennen is one of the best team fighting champions in the game with his ultimate and his ability to run around, stun everyone up, do a decent amount of damage. Hear that Zhonya's, have a great time. Camille and Corgi, Camille especially, is looking to break up team fights. Use that ultimate to force people away, start a little 1v1, and get a kill very quickly. But Corki and Twisted Fate aren't really built for this. They're more built for side lane fighting. They're more built for mobility and moving around the map, getting stuff going. So I would favor, if the game goes to team fights, I would definitely favor Phoenix Horizon. But, you know, the games don't always go that way. And if you've got 10 kills on the side of Stopwatch and no kills on the side of Phoenix Horizon, and you've got a 4K gold lead, then yeah, you're going to win those team fights because you're so far ahead, and this is grassroots League of Legends. So anything can happen.
US grassroots, of course, you know. You want to prove yourself, and Sonder, he does go for the Kleptomancy on Twisted Fate, something that has only kind of recently surfaced to the meta, so I might want to put more focus on it. You go for the on-hit Triforce into... I've seen so many different things being after that, I don't even want to call what his second item will be. One thing though, he will absolutely shred anyone come late game.
Yeah, he definitely can if he's given the safety to do so, but you've got people to jump on and kill him. So you gotta be careful of that. Both teams have decent engage. You've got SQ1, you've got Camille who can both dive in. Corki can somewhat dive in as well with his W if he's feeling frisky. But you've also got your J4, your Kennen, your Akan. So both these teams are very able to engage, and it might just be a case of who engages first or doesn't mess up their engage, depending on how these teams play today, on who wins big fights and who wins objectives. Because Baron and Dragon dancing with these teams is going to be absolutely insane with the teleports and with all the engage. These objectives shouldn't be easy to take at any stage during this game if both teams are playing well.
Unless, of course, you get insanely ahead, which you always kind of have to watch out for, is the surprise factor. At this level of League of Legends play, you will see one lane randomly get 10,000 kills like we saw Henkerson did last time, and from there you can throw out conventional gameplay out of the window, because you always have to factor that in, but of course it has to happen first, and at the second minute you're not going to see that much of kills.
Yeah, it's one of those things which is hard for a color caster, because you can say all the analysis you want, but then it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. Twisted Fate has 18 kills, so everything I've said is completely irrelevant because he 1v5s and he wins all the team fights, even though he's not a great team fight champion. So it's always a bit of a worry, but last game it didn't happen too much. We all knew Zera's gonna pop off anyway. I'm really excited to see how this mid lane goes, actually, because I haven't seen Twisted Fate played in quite a while, playing against Corki, who's got a similar playstyle to Twisted Fate. And I think it's going to be very exciting to see how these two players use these champions, one of whom is very much in the meta, one of whom is less so.
Yeah, what I'm also looking at is how will you play the Twisted Fate as Sonder against the SQ1 threat from Yappy XD, because you don't really have anything apart from your flash. If you get rooted by that glacial prison, that might just be the end of you, and then that gives Credible a whole lot of possibilities, as that is a good engage from Chaos coming through in the ball lane. Binding is going to be returned onto Muyuk. He burns the glass, flash forward, first blood picked up by Bomberhorn, and that is a great turnaround from the Stopwatch bot lane.
It was a little bit too far up to engage there, Rakan. You're not only quite near to the enemy towers so that they could quite easily back away if they wanted to, but your Kai'Sa's a reasonable way behind you, meaning that she's not going to be able to get in and get the early damage very quickly. And Bomberhorn and Malakvel knew that, but there's a bit of a Barney in the top lane.
Darkblack, he's just going forward, but he's got the aggro of the entire caster minion army, so he probably needs to consider his options. Now, Yappy moving towards the top side, however, he was spotted already a lot of pings. That could be a collapse from Sonder. Krakatorik also coming through from that top lane, secures the stun with Mark of the Storm. Sonder has got the golden card. Can he get in range to get this stun? Doesn't seem so, and Yappy just walks away.
Yeah, luckily for Sonder, he had priority before he made that roam. He'd already pushed up the wave, so Corki was having to clear that out, wasn't able to follow up. But as we say, level 6 is where these two champions come online in terms of roaming, really. And for Corki, he could be level 6 before he could actually roam, because he needs the package in order to do so really effectively. Twisted Fate was just running up river. He did force the stop to this whole ganking nonsense in the top lane, but other than that, lost out on some minions, and now the lane, it was in a good position, now it's in a less optimal position for him, and you've got to wonder whether that roam was really worth it.
However, Krakatorik, he's making sure that Yappy cannot steal away all the camps, and you saw Xcan moving into the jungle. There's already a bit of a CS lead developing between the two junglers. We'll have to keep an eye on whether it turns into anything bigger, as Xcan, he's looking to gank Credible, but that's a Corki with a flash. You are not ganking it easily at all.
No, I think Corki's pretty safe right now, as long as he doesn't do anything really stupid. The gold card from Twisted Fate could prove to be a problem if used at the exact right time, in order to not only stun the Corki, but allow for the engage to be hit by Sejuani. And if Jappy can hold on to the Q with the engage until Corki tries to W, you can knock him out of that situation, and then he's going to be forced to flash or he's going to die there. So Sonda and Yappy have to play it very well in order to get the kill. I can see it happening, but I can also see Credible being quite smart about this and knowing, okay, this is my limit, I'm not going to overextend.
Now the first recalls are coming through. This game is considerably slower than last time, and Bomberhond, he comes back with a BF sword. I'm interested to see what Muyu will pick up. That is just a tier. The damage discrepancy between those two AD carries is going to become significant.
One single tear shed by Muyu for that back. But you need tears. Like, people buy tears on first backs all the time. You have to be a little bit careful in terms of laning now, because yes, Zai is going to be doing so much more damage than you, but as we get a little bit of a pause for communication issues, people are used to it. Tears are a reasonably expensive item in League. They need to be bought early so you can stack them up. So I imagine that Muyu will know what to do in this situation. Yes, you'd have probably liked an AD item as well, or maybe boots if you're feeling so inclined, but it's not the end of the world for this Kai'Sa. And Bomberhond has got the BF sword, but as long as you don't overstep too much and don't get caught out by the Morgana, you should be all right in terms of surviving in that lane.
All right, we are going to go and unpause just now. Looking down the CS discrepancies, Kralkatoric utilizing that range advantage pretty well on the cannon, I have to say, being 10 ahead, which should be equalized as the wave crashes into Darkblind. The mid lane, though, Credible, he is now nearly 20 in the lead over Sonder.
Yeah, the roam from Sonder early, like, I really dislike the idea of running up river at level 3 as Twisted Fate. I don't think it's ever really that smart a move, and you didn't get anything from it, but Sejuani's looking for something up that top side.
Here comes the Hastic ultimatum. The Destiny is also channeled into the bot side though, so Phoenix Rising looking to make the crossmap play, and Bomberhond will drop in the top lane, so does Kralkatoric. Flash away from Malik Bell, and that is going to be a 1-for-1 across the map.
Yeah, that's how you're meant to be roaming there, Sonder. You wait until level 6, you get your ultimate, and you go somewhere and get yourself a kill. You went somewhere, you got your team a kill. Very nice on the bot side. Sejuani moving top side, Kennen was a little overextended. Could have got that kill on Darkblade if it had been 1v1, so you've got to feel for him a little bit, but at the same time, you must know that Sejuani is going to be loving that kind of situation, and using your ultimate so you don't get anything on the Sejuani, it's a little bit overextended, as Credible was looking for damage on Sonder.
Yeah, he can actually keep the trade going. Yappy is still level 5. Can he go in for the play? Flash forward with the Actic Assault. He secures the kill.
You can't dodge those, but on the other side, X-Khan's going to be trading that one away for an Ocean Drake, giving a little bit of sustain. And in teamfight compositions, that is deceptively important, because you're going to be able to do these Baron and Dragon dances, or these sieges, and you're not going to have to go back to get all your health and mana back, because you're going to be getting it from the Dragon. So you're going to have the advantage in those situations. You can go for a little bit more poke. You can maybe go for the tentative engage and then back off if it doesn't go so well, because you're going to be able to have a little bit more sustain than the opponent. And it's free because you trade it for your mid laner, but he was going to die anyway. Let's be realistic. He was on 0 health below his tower. Massively worth, I'd say, over on side of Stopwatch.
The gold is still dead on even, and I think this is mostly because X-Khan, he's been doing some solid power farming, if you can call it that. He still has 1 assist, so it's not like he didn't gank. He definitely did, but he's 56 to 31 in CS. He has managed to pick up that Drake, and now he's looking to make a plane down towards bot side.
He's sitting around. They haven't spotted him out. He might look for the gank there. You've got Corki on package as well, who might be looking for early response somewhere, or might be looking to use that in a 1v1. Malik Bell's going to be a bit careful she doesn't get caught out. They're not
flag in, drag forward X-Khan. He's got the Cataclysm, no flash available for the Morgana. Teleport is also going to be channeled by the side of Stopwatch. Chaos being up the first kill of the fight. Darkba has joined the fray. He does not have that Hextech ultimatum just yet, but it doesn't matter. He finishes the kill onto X-Khan. He can look to keep the trade going. He logs down Chaos, and now Muyuk, he's trying to run towards the tower. Bomberman flashing forward. There's the package coming through. Make it a triple for Darkblack. Great teleport by Stopwatch.
That was almost step perfect from Stopwatch. The thing that got me about that fight and was like the, oh, okay moment, Darkblood uses the ultimate. Chaos flashes, Darkblood follows and knocks the Kai'Sa up the lane right into the path of Bomberhond. And then, of course, you see Credible path down immediately as he saw all that was going on. With that package, confirms himself the kill. Very, very clean play over on the side of Stopwatch. And they're going to be feeling really happy on that bot side now.
And man, just talk about the Camille now, 4-0-0, and it's one of those champions just like Fiora where you need the expensive items. If you can get a boost so early on, I can definitely see Stopwatch even play around that split push threat as their win condition.
Yeah, they could look to try and get a nice little 1-3-1 setup. The team comp is built for it. Credible having a little bit of a fight, but it's not going to come to anything too much, so it's all right. But yeah, you've got yourself in such a great position. Your Camille, 4 kills. She's on an absolute mad one right now in that top lane. Yeah, she's behind in farm to Kennen, but it's Kennen, so that's going to happen. But I think she still probably wins fights like these.
Yeah, just look at Kralkatoric's health drop. He throws down the slicing Maelstrom. It simply doesn't do a thing. The Destiny coming through. Darkblood picks up the kill. He's standing underneath the turret though, and it might be a 1-for-1. Yes, it is in the end. Sonder cashing in on the shutdown.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, Superior Analyst, I said that he probably wins fights like those, and then he goes on to win fights like those. Of course, Sonder coming up, getting the stun under tower was so key, and it's unfortunate for Darkblade he wasn't a step back, or the channel of the ultimate wasn't a second longer, because then he would have been probably able to get out of that one pretty scot-free. But you'll be happy with that. You get another kill, you do lose a shutdown, which means that Sonder's going to have a lot of gold, but Twisted Fate, he's... I don't want to go in on this too much, but I just think Corki's a better Twisted Fate in this situation. And I think that Credible has got the farm lead, is looking a little better. So you're not too worried about giving up the shutdown to him. You would have preferred to give it to someone like Chaos, who it's going to be irrelevant on, but you're not too upset about that.
However, think about all the gold generation for Sonder. Kleptomancy plus the passives for Twisted Fate. He is currently 500 gold ahead, and he has already completed his Triforce. And your ultimate is actually truly global. So whereas I can definitely see Credible, he's going to be a monster late game, and Sonder will not be anywhere close. Right now, that Twisted Fate is more than good enough.
Yeah, there is still mobility to be sure. You can see Sonder moving down towards that fight. No ultimate though. But yeah, Twisted Fate, he can roam around quite effectively now with his ultimate. As you saw, his ultimate has picked up 2 kills for his team already. He's got the kill and he's got the assistant bot side. Bomberhond taking a lot of damage though.
He does use the Featherstorm heal, still being held onto. Credible also dropping low in health currently in this mid lane, so Stopwatch looking a bit shaky in the lanes. Darkblood tries to go forward with that hookshot. That's a flash gold card from Sonder. He throws down the wild cards and not enough damage to secure the kill.
That screams to me not understanding how much damage you can do on a champion, because Credible didn't have any way of mitigating any damage in that situation. It was a case of Twisted Fate goes in, wastes the flash on an immobile champion who's very gankable to not get a kill, to reasonably not even get that close to a kill. So Sonder, while his roams have been impressive, his laning phase against this Corki has been pretty underwhelming for me. And I think Credible, with that flash being burnt, having his flash, he's got to run on this matchup. But what are we going to see bot?
Xcan trying to jump forward. Chaos going in with that quickness. The killer instinct is going to be followed up, but Chaos is just underneath the turret. Malakbel picking up the kill, and that just looked like absolutely no coordination from Phoenix Horizon. And here comes Stopwatch with Darkblood on the charge. The Destiny does not get Sonder out. Darkblood getting his 6th kill of this game, and Stopwatch could be looking to secure that Infernal Drake.
That was pretty painful to watch, all things considered. The problems you have there is Rakan gets the engage on, very nice. Gets caught by the Morgana and just dies to tower. That's unfortunate. You see people coming down, but then they decide to engage anyway. And then Sonder uses his gold card on the SQ1 as opposed to the Camille, who's a much bigger threat at this stage. And then tries to channel away with his ultimate, wasting that cooldown when you know that SQ1 there because you've just stunned her.
Oh, so, well, Xcan, he was in the pit. He burns his flash, he gets out. He doesn't get the dragon though, and this game is turning very interesting very fast.
It's one of those situations where one mistake leads into another mistake that leads into another mistake. And right now, Phoenix Horizon, they're making little mistakes individually or decision-making mistakes that are then leading into another decision-making mistake. Had Rakan not have engaged on the tower when there wasn't too much support, he wouldn't have died, which meant that Xcan Sonder wouldn't have died, which means the X-Calm wouldn't have then been forced to go for the Dragon, which was a mistake, and then you die and lose, or you escape, you burn a flash, but you lose the Dragon. So it's I'm just looking at this Stopwatch lineup and I'm thinking, how are you gonna lose out on this one? Because right now you're in such a leading position, and Phoenix Horizon across the board are kind of doing a little bit worse than you are.
It definitely seems to be the case, although you still can hold on to Sonder, having that Triforce before credible, which I guess is at least some confidence boost. That's another gank being initiated by Stopwatch in the top lane. Kralkatoric burns the Respect Flash, and now in the mid lane, the gold card connects onto credible. Chaos coming through. He's got the quickness, but he doesn't have enough range, and in the end, he is forced to back off.
I do like that flash up top by Kralkatoric, because even though SQ1's ult might have been down at the point, it was evadable, but like, unless you're tracking ultimates really carefully, you wouldn't have known that. Takes the ultimate in the bot lane though.
Oh, that was a good blade caller, but it's just not enough. Muyu, he's got more than enough damage, and Bomberhunt is finished off.
That's a much better use of your ultimate and engage, Rakan. You know you're in a 2v1. It could be pushed to a 2v2 with the Morgana coming down, but oh.
A gank in the mid lane. That's a great Glacial Prison. Malik Bell is coming through, securing the kill. Good guy support, and that's another one for Stopwatch.
Imagine playing a non-mobile champ against Morgana and Sejuani. That has got to suck so much for Sonder. There's no way. You're hit by one piece of CC, you might as well just take your hands off the keyboard and go get a drink, because you're just going to die, and there was absolutely nothing you could do about that. Now we're seeing a fight in the river.
Kralkatoric burns the Lightning Rush. He's stunned up by the permafrost. Yapi, he's got more than enough damage. The Slicing Maelstrom will be popped and forces Yapi to flash away. Flash hook shot over the wall. Darkblood picking up the kill. He locks down X-Can in the ultimatum, and Malik Bell, of all people, is on a killing spree.
Malik Bell has been putting on a clinic on this Morgana right now. His bindings and his CC, not only has it been landing, but it's been landing in really opportune positions. He's flashed and used that ultimate there really aggressively to get 2 kills, which is madness. Last time there was a massive fight in bot lane, he landed his CC, he waited until Rakan was under tower to land it, so that the kill was guaranteed and didn't force anyone to come out of a safe position to pick it up. He's been doing so well. His spell shields have also been really, really on point throughout this entire game. And I'm just really impressed with how this Morgana is being played. It's not only neutralizing the bot lane from Phoenix Rising, but now he's roaming and neutralizing other positions.
Let's talk about Darkblood though, because that Camille is massive. That is a killing spree. 8-1-1. You've got the Triforce at 17 minutes, and I'm going to be honest, if Darkblood doesn't carry this game all the way through, I will be actually surprised.
This is one of those games where I've been told that you should never call a game over until it's actually over. But I'm looking at Darkblood right now, and I'm like, is this game not over there? Very nice engage though.
I mean, this is the one way in which it cannot be over just yet. Big shutdown for Muyu, good gold, and yeah, you know, there's always the counterpoint to any point you make, and I guess Phoenix Horizon just showed us how you could, in theory, deal with Darkblood.
Yeah, but then you lose a tower bot and you lose half of your tower mid for doing it. It's like we were talking about last game. Yes, you get the kill on the very powerful member, like getting the kill on power on that Akali, but you're losing objectives across the map for it. Dragon is now available. Well, Dragon will now be available very, very shortly, 35 seconds, another Ocean Drake for those of you keeping score at home. And you're going to look to equal out. Bomberhunt gets 2 towers in the bot lane. He can die to Kralkatoric as much as he wants. He doesn't even die. He gets out of that one, but that's just not worth in any way killing Darkblood for that.
Definitely not. I have to agree with you on this point. However, there is, you know, you have to look at some hope, especially that in the AD carry, you are fairly even. Bomberhunt has just completed his second item, whereas Muyu is already sitting on it for a while, and once the Kaiser completes that Mura mana, Muyu is going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, for sure. I think if there's no way am I saying that Phoenix Rising have lost this game, that they cannot come back from it. But what I'm seeing is I'm seeing Darkblood on almost 2 items now, 8-2-1. He's winning 1v1s across the map, regardless of who's coming up against him at this point. I'm seeing a Corki who's been doing so much better than the Twisted Fate, has a farm lead, hasn't died as much, has priority in the mid lane. Towers are going down across the map. Bomberhunt, we say that Kaiser's really, really strong, but Bomberhunt's doing just as well. She might have trouble here, though.
Well, we might see how strong are those AD carries. Bomberhunt is forced to flash away. He still hasn't got the feathers that he can technically pull back. And here comes the entire squad of Stopwatch from the bot side. The Goon squad has arrived. It is a 1-for-1 already. Sonder is going to be locked up. Bomberhunt picking up the kill. Credible still on the chase. He's going to get Chaos and X-Con dashing underneath the turret. That's a double kill for Credible. And Stopwatch find a 3-for-1 in the mid lane.
The perfect collapse there from Stopwatch. Malik Bill dies, but as soon as the ultimate came in from Twisted Fate, he knew he was dead. He managed to get a little bit of CC down in that fight, and then goes down. But enough time for the rest of Stopwatch to come up from the bottom side of the map, out of the jungle of Phoenix Rising, I must say, and absolutely annihilate pretty much the entire roster. People got out, but they lost so much. They lost Dragon as well from the offside. They lost objectives, and every time it looks like there might be a step forward for Phoenix Horizon, Stopwatch steal like 4 bases.
Definitely a tough one, I have to say. It's just looking dire for the side of Phoenix Horizon, as now Malibro could be in some trouble. Throws down the Black Shield, no flash available, no backup from the entire team. So I guess Phoenix Horizon, they're just gonna take the pick, donate it over to Muyu, and maybe even look for that mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, just being out position there from Malik Bell. You don't have any assistance. Your team isn't creating pressure elsewhere, so being there on your own is pretty bad. And then you just give up a free kill in that tower. It's not the end of the world. You're going to be back up before anything massive happens again, unless either team forces something, like we might see here.
Yappy going forward, Krakatorik throws down the slicing Maelstrom. That is a lot of damage available. Phoenix Horizon, Bonehunt is already down. However, Darkblack is alive and well. Sonder, he completes his teleport. He joins the fray, and that is a great fight for Phoenix Horizon.
That is a really great fight for Phoenix Horizon. Now they have priority over that Baron pit. You shouldn't start it right now. I don't think you win that. They've got 4v2. Credible and Malik Bill are around, though. This is a pretty brave play. I'm not sure I back it.
Incredible Malik. Well, can they pull off a 2 versus 4? The Baron buff is doing a lot of damage to the members of Phoenix Horizon, so you have to be careful. The binding keeps Sonder in place. There is the quickness onto Malik. The Black Shield has already been committed. The Baron is still going. Credible could be looking for the play. He's already on the case, picking up the first kill. Muyu is going to get it up. That's a shutdown. It's 2 kills. The Baron is secured by X-Cat, but Stopwatch, they just get everyone. That is a triple, and oh my goodness, Sonder makes it out, but Stopwatch still pick up all the kills.
There was no need to do that Baron at any stage. You won the good team fight. Go to Baron, get good vision, reset. You don't then go for it. Credible and Malik Bill were both on their way from base, and that's all the CC and all the damage you need alongside Baron to do something. Yes, you get Baron. Congratulations. You've got it on one member of your team right now. You have it on Twisted Fate, who, yeah, is a bit mobile, had to use his ultimate to get away, so he's actually not going to be able to go into side lanes all that much to use it. No teleport either. I'm astonished that that decision was made.
It definitely backfired big time for Phoenix Horizon, and you just give 3 kills over to Corki. We said how Darkblade is going to be the one to carry, Incredible and Bonerhorn are kind of scaling. Well done, you just accelerated that scaling. Will you good flash away from the Glacial Prison, but is it enough to get out? Short answer, no. Credible is dominating, and Stopwatch are looking to siege down the mid.
Yeah, I don't want to keep blowing this trumpet, as we see another fight might actually kick off.
Well, that is going to be Zonia's committed from Krakatorik. Malik Bell so incredibly low, but should be fine. No Destiny is available.
Yeah, I was actually mistaken earlier as well. There are actually 2 Barons. Krakatorik did come up in time to get that Baron, so slightly better over on the side of Phoenix Horizon, but it's by no means great, and you're still fighting against an incredibly fed Corki, an incredibly fed Camille, and Bomberhorn, Jaffe, and Malik Bell. They're not exceptionally fed, but they're still going to be doing their jobs. You've got a character who's a tank, so doesn't matter how many items they have really, and Jaffe's got that Warmogs and the Sindhawk, so it's going to be able to eat up a lot of damage. You've got the utility from Morgana throwing that spell shield onto Corki, or whoever they want, really, and you've got Bomberhorn who's going to be able to rip through. There are some positives to take over on the side of Phoenix Horizon. Muyu, as we said earlier, could be their way back into this game, but I'm struggling to see it. They need to get some massive team fights like they got before that Baron, and then make the correct decisions afterwards.
Yeah, and he still doesn't have his Mura mana. About 630, so probably 2 or 3 more minutes. And he's fairly evenly matched. Credible working towards his Infinity Age at a 24.5 minutes. Bomberhorn also very strong on the Zaya, so it's not going to be easy by any means whatsoever. And I feel like Kralkatoric, Chaos, and Xcan, they will need to step up with their engages. It won't be easy to lock down Bomberhorn and Credible, but if you somehow can do it, that is your ticket back into this game.
Yeah, for sure. Your carries can be pretty far behind, but if the enemy carries are CC'd for the entire team fight, it just doesn't matter. So you need to step up your game in these engages. Kralkatoric's engages have actually been pretty good this game on the Kennen. So if you can catch all of the priority targets in that Kennel, as well as the people who are going to be getting onto your own carries, you can melt a couple of people before the team fight even really starts over on the side of Stopwatch. So that's Phoenix Rise's way back into the game. How are they going to force it, and how are Stopwatch going to prevent them from forcing it?
Getting the Mountain Drake applying pressure definitely is one way to do it. All the towers apart from the base have been taken now by Stopwatch away from Phoenix Horizon. So the next step is try and crack that base open. The siege is decent with the double marksman, but I think that the side of Phoenix Rising can defend us now. Kralkatoric engaged on by Darkblind. The Bowling, the redemption is coming down, so he will be able to survive. Healed up to 2/3 of HP. The Glacial Prison connects onto Chaos, but no one dies in the end.
Actually, a decent trade over on the side of Phoenix Horizon. They only trade one ultimate for 2, and now might have the bonus in the team fight. The Kennen ultimate is huge for them, but the Sejuani ultimate is very, really important as well. Bomberhorn might be caught out here.
He has to pop the feathers, though. He is rooted up and no escape. Muyu gets the kill. Darkblood dashing over the wall with the hook shot. And Stopwatch are reinforcing their position, so I do believe that Phoenix Horizon, they'll just take the 1 kill and get out unless Xcan, he gets caught out by the binding. Though, Stopwatch, you see them disengage.
Yeah, very, very well played from Phoenix Horizon, and they get tower up top lane because Sonda is on that split push. They're finding these little advantages now. They win these team fights, don't get me wrong. When they take the team fights correctly, they win them. So that's what they need to be doing in order to get ahead and get back into this game. Sonda as well, getting that top tower, very smart from him in order to get a little bit more gold. He wasn't needed for that team fight, and you're still 3k gold behind, but there's glimmers of hope for this Phoenix Horizon lineup. And if they're smart and can take these picks, then maybe they've got a way back into this one.
Just maybe. The gold gap has, I want to say, shrunken a bit. It has been staying on that for a pretty long time, around 3,000 for Stopwatch. And as time goes on, it becomes less and less meaningful. And Muyu is working towards his 4th item on Kai'Sa. They are a bit cheaper with the attack speed, but if he completes that Infinity Edge, it will not matter in the slightest. And this is where you have to have your eyes set if you are a Phoenix Horizon fan.
Yeah, you've got to be looking at the Kai'Sa now and thinking, okay, she can do a lot of damage. We saw in the last team fight. If engages are made for her, and she's able to dive in and get those kills, then she can rinse through members of Stopwatch. And Bomberhorn arguably has been out of position one too many times this game. Hasn't looked that great on this Zarya this game in terms of knowing where to be at what time. Same with Malik Bell more recently in this game. So it looks like Phoenix Horizon are being given a way back into this game, and it's now a question of are they going to be able to take it?
You still have that split push threat in Darkblood, something that we haven't really addressed in a long time, and I feel like neither have Phoenix Horizon. They just hope that Stopwatch will be making enough mistakes, and they did enough to hold into that point. But now that's a new 3-item Camille in a side lane, and you gotta have a plan.
You do. The plan is currently to get Kralkatoric to clear out the waves and keep Camille away from these objectives, because right now Stopwatch have the run of Baron if they want to try and start it. I don't think they do. It's very smart to hold off a little bit, just see what level of response there will be for that. Looks like they're just going to go for an engage instead.
Oh, Xcan here already dropped the flag. Good sidestep away from that Glacial Prison, and Yappy is going to be burning that cooldown, but Xcan's flash is now also down.
Those are big cooldowns to lose. Xcan needs that flash a lot of the time to get massive engaged with the Cataclysm if the flag and drag doesn't work out. But Jaffy's ultimate is a massive part of this Sejuani's kit. You're not going to be able to fight as effectively in even fights without that ability. But looking at the way that we're seeing Phoenix Rising set up, they sent multiple members back. if Stopwatch pull the trigger now on a fight or Baron, it might be a bit difficult for them to come into this one.
Right, you have to pick up that fourth item on Muyu. You have to now watch every single item being a fairly big spike when completed, so you've got that bonus damage. The question is, of course, always the execution, and the superior vision and position from Stopwatch combined with that pressure from Splitbush in the ball lane will make it very difficult for Phoenix Horizon to find the right position, something we've been rambling on for the last couple of minutes.
Well, I mean, both teams have been rumbling on it as well. It's one of those Baron dances. It looks like it has been started up now, but Phoenix Horizon could actually look to contest this. They have teleports on the members that need to teleport in, but his Baron is gone.
Yeah, going down too fast with the double marksman. It is easily smited away by Yappy. No contest whatsoever. Next dragon spawning is going to be an ocean. Not the most important one, so they might just look to try and finally break into that base.
Yeah, it's probably not something that's worth contesting. Ocean Drake at this stage is either you take it to open up Elder Drake, or you take it because it's free and you might as well. It's going to help a lot on sieges, to be fair, and defending sieges, but you're looking at this moment, it's not about poking down and sieging, it's about team fighting for these teams right now. So, yeah, it's a nice thing to have on the board, but I don't expect anyone to put too much pressure onto it.
And now Stopwatch are looking to siege down double lanes with the Baron buff. The mid lane inhib turret broken, and so is the base of Phoenix Horizon. Inhibitor still stands tall as Darkblade is looking to go in with another wave towards that bot lane. Maybe look to get that objective as well. However, here comes the rest of Phoenix Horizon. Stopwatch, they are playing their game so carefully right now.
It's all about ebbing and flowing, making sure that, okay, where's the enemy team going to be? They have to deal with one situation. We're going to create another one. Now look at the top side. Minions are crashing in. Very good wave management. They're going to be able to get a siege on this top side, opening this up even more.
And with the Corki and Zaya, these turrets are just going down. The Mountain Drake helping that as well. And now Darkblack could be looking for engage. However, look at Chaos. He's on the flank. If that is a big engage, that's a double lookup into the Chemicals, and Bomberhold is away down. Credible still staying alive. He's going to flash away. Malik Bell in the front line. He's stuck without the escape. Frank Godoy flashing forward. Muyu picks up the shutdown. Have a look at the Camille ball lane. Yappy needs to die, and he needs to die fast. That is 4 kills for Phoenix Horizon. However, Darkblack is onto the Nexus Towers.
Darkblood doesn't have enough to finish this one up. He's going to get one and get out, but that was so clutch from Chaos. Man got an excellent flank in an area that isn't that warded over on the side of Stopwatch. That was a mistake from them not to have coverage where they needed it on that push. That's what happens when you move around so quickly. You kind of neglect the vision, neglect the safety. Massive engage, 5v4. You win that fight. You do lose 2 inhibitors down already. You've lost the Nexus Tower as well. So you're going to have to see what you can turn that into. And as I said before, Darkblade's like, I can get a free dragon. I'll just pick it up on my way out.
Yeah, next one will be the Elder. You've got 4 stacks for Stopwatch. All the cards just seem to be falling in their favor, but it doesn't matter since Phoenix Horizon showed us they can still find the fights. 5th item on Kaiser. That is a GA. And if Chaos keeps finding those engages, Phoenix Horizon have a very real shot at coming back in this game.
If you're looking for a 4v5 engage again, you're having to leave someone up. And right now your base is not looking... Your base is backdoorable in the case of if there are 2 waves being pushed in, you can't engage on one of the waves because the other one could finish. So you're going to have to still be quite clever. Yes, you proved you win these team fights in 4v5s, and it was a very good team fight over on the side of Phoenix Horizon. But you can't let that go to your head and think, okay, we're just going to do that again. Because if you do that again, you might well win another team fight. In fact, I would say pretty constantly, Phoenix Horizon do win those fights. But there might not be any Nexus to come home to.
And that's always the concern. Darkblast still has the flash, teleport, and his ultimate. Is it enough to stay alive versus 5 members? He's trying to jump in onto Sonder. Muyu popping that killer instinct. Darkblast down, however, 4-man stack of Stopwatch looking to take the final inhib.
Yeah, you've got ultimates, you've got teleports, and you've got people already there, so they might not be able to get too much on the inhib, but the tower will fall. Once again, it's a nice rotation there, much better than going on the 4 from Phoenix Rising, because you can kill Darkblood really, really quickly. And while the push is fast from the other members of Stopwatch, XCOM was already there, Sonder had ultimate to force them away, so you actually lose much less for killing 1 member. And while there are still 4 members left up from Stopwatch, the massive threat of Camille is gone for the next 20 seconds.
This game is just stretching out for 34 minutes. The gold lead is minuscule, but the pressure lead pretty clear in favor of Stopwatch. And this will just pretty much become the war of attrition for Stopwatch. They want to try and starve Phoenix Horizon out of this game, whereas Phoenix Horizon, they need to find the one opportunity, look for the misstep, and go all in. If you punish Stopwatch successfully, you might just regain control over this match.
Yeah, if you can stall, if you are Team Phoenix Horizon, you can do so much, because you've been behind for the majority of this game. Right, you've been losing a lot of stuff, but you've been winning team fights where it's mattered. If you can stall out until everyone has full items, I think that you might actually be favored. The Corki is going to have the run of your mid laner, but your team fighting is so good, it probably doesn't matter if you can take these fights. And because you can see splitting coming from a Stopwatch, they want to split the map up and go for these kind of 4-1s or 1-3-1s. If you are hard forcing a fight, you're taking at least one member out, and then you win the 4v5. Or you're taking 3 members out, and you win the 2v4, or whatever that it will be. So, I actually think Phoenix Rising are in a decent position. Every fight could be their last if they keep winning the fights.
Look at the ball lane, Darkblood trying to go into Krakatorik. Here comes the Destiny though, and Darkblood, he might have the cards turned in his face. However, the hookshot is enough of a safety tool, and he gets out burning his flash.
That could have been a massive mistake for Stopwatch. They used big ultimates in order to try and get onto one member. But luckily for them, the rest of Stopwatch weren't there to force a push. So Phoenix Horizon...
Incredible. He's looking to get the third inhib. He stand up. He doesn't even get the inhibitor. Muyu gets the shutdown. And that's a crucial pick for Phoenix Horizon.
Baron is coming up in a second. Baron is up. And you've just lost a member. A very important member at that. He's gone for the next 45 seconds. Phoenix Horizon... they're clawing their way back into this one, and they shouldn't have been able to get back into this one, but they're finding a way.
And now Darkblood, the one member, you gotta keep your eye on. The Baron, as he said, is up. Stopwatch have full control over all the vision in that topside jungle. As Binding connects onto Xcan, I don't think he really cares that much. Darkblood has grouped up with his team. Xcan going forward with that Calyx in mind, but good flash away. That is a double knockup. Overhorn is stuck in the backline. He has to pop the QSS, the Feather Storm as well. Utilized. Darkblood popped down the Hextech ultimatum in onto Somber, and now he will be looking to make the escape. Flash Gold Card keeps him in place. He gets the hookshot, but the interrupt on the grand entrance, and Xcan, he's jumping into Bomberhole. He picks up the kill. Yappy now trying to go forward, try and eliminate the jungler as the Baron is up, and he will be able to succeed. But Phoenix Horizon, they have 4 members against the 2. How much can they get?
We've said Phoenix Horizon win these team fights. They pick their fight, they get it, and they could maybe go all the way if they're smart about this.
They are going to get their inhib. Bomberhorn still 30 seconds. Do Phoenix Horizon want to push? Do they want to try and finalize the comeback?
I mean, it looks like Stopwatch are going to be able to force them out of their base, but it's the inability of Stopwatch to close out a game where they were so far ahead really concerns me in this game. They were in a position with your Camille, with your Corki, that you should have won this game maybe 15 minutes ago, but you couldn't break in at most. Arguably, like, there were points. It was a very resolute defense from Phoenix Rising for that time. They're now going to start this Baron. This could be it for the game unless there's a massive contest.
The Baron is just dropping down so quickly with that Mountain Drake. It is pretty much gone. And now the fight breaks out. Chaos trying to go in. He doesn't find any knockup. And the kill goes Krakatorik. It blows out Malik Bell. Credible. Flashing over the wall. The Kais are out for Stopwatch. They cannot do anything in this fight. And Phoenix Horizon, they pick up 3 kills.
This could be game for the side of Phoenix Rising. I cannot believe I'm saying these words in this game. They have defended so well in this game, and they've had their backs to the wall pretty much the entire time. And now they are marching into the Stopwatch base. There are only 2 defenders. They're big boys, to be fair, but I think they might have this one.
The victory march coming through from Phoenix Horizon. Incredible has to get out. He's stunned with the gold card. Muyu is gold like Bomberhorn. Pops down the Feather Storm. Krakatorik has to go golden. The Blade Thrower doesn't finish him off. Xcan slowing him down with the random instant QSS is popped. And that's a full ace. Phoenix Horizon, they managed to finalize the comeback. They are looking for the next side. Malik Bell responds. He's looking to do anything, but there is nothing to be done. And Phoenix Horizon defeats Stopwatch.
I have absolutely no clue how they managed to pull that one off. Phoenix Horizon had their backs against the wall the entire game, but they managed to win the game. Stopwatch had such a run of the early game. They had the composition to build the split push. But then, and not only that, Phoenix Horizon mid-game were making all the wrong decisions. They were going for objectives they had no right to go for. They were losing single trades everywhere. But then, just a massively resolute and determined team fighting from Phoenix Horizon, coupled with some pretty, I don't want to say cowardly, but there wasn't commitment when there needed to be from Stopwatch to get the pushes on. You saw it late game, but by then it was too late. Credible should have been trying to take that inhibitor 5 minutes before he did when he died. The team should have been pushing harder for these objectives. And eventually, it just got to a point where it was, okay, we can give Stopwatch all the space and time they need, because as soon as they actually commit to anything, we're going to be able to blow them up. And kudos to Phoenix Horizon for doing that. But I would say that, just from my gut instinct, we've just watched two of the teams that are going to struggle this season.
It definitely looked like that a bit. Although, I mean, yeah, I do have to agree with you. Stopwatch, at least in case of Stopwatch, it looked like a shaky game. They've got a lot to prove in the upcoming weeks. At least that's the message I want to leave. But they were so far ahead. That Camille was 8-1 at one point. The Corki was also, he got a triple kill. It looked like there was no coming back, yet Phoenix Horizon, they managed to hold on, and even though they did make some mistakes, it was just a very, very scrappy game.
Yeah, it was scrappy. I think both of the teams had their time to shine. Definitely. Stopwatch for the first 15 to 20 minutes looked like one of the best teams we've seen this split. Phoenix Horizon late game team fighting looked like one of the best teams we've seen this split. And I don't want to be going in too brutal, because as a player, I don't get to go in brutal. So this is why I'm doing it as color. But for the first 20 minutes, Phoenix Horizon looked like one of the worst teams we've seen this split. Laning phase, don't get me wrong, Twisted Fate, other than one or two good proactive plays, didn't provide anything. And then we go into late game, and there was just no steal coming in from Stopwatch. Both of these teams, there was massive amounts to praise them about, and I don't think I praised them very much in that game, but the early game jungling was very good. Laning on the side of Bomberhond and Malik Bell, and Malik Bell's early game was pretty much flawless. But then being able to take advantage of opportunities is all Phoenix Horizon. The amount of times they jumped onto slightly mispositioned Bomberhond or slightly mispositioned Malik Bell, the number of times where they stoved off defeat and they stared defeat in the face and were like, okay, we're gonna let them take this inhibitor tower because we need to go and kill someone else and come back. And in another game, that might have spelt defeat, but this time they were lucky and they were determined to win and they pulled it out. So I'm very happy that Phoenix Horizon managed to come back in that one and prove me wrong for the majority of the game. But if they try and do that next week, if they play against someone like Royal Reapers or actually CBA, you can see them just getting grounded in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. They actually do play CBA next week, so...
Oh, baby!
Yeah, I'm not sure if you will stream that one, of course. However, thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back with a stream tomorrow as well, at the same time, 19 CEST or 6 PM if you are living in UK. So thank you for being here tonight, and we will see you then.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.